turned up, how are you going to supply those tanks with fuel and ammunition, food for the soldiers to keep them all going? And to do that, you need vehicles like this, which is a supply vehicle. And this really, what you've got to think of this fellow is like, this one's like a Ford Transit on tracks. It's there to take the supplies forward across the churned up battlefield so the tanks can keep going. And tanks, when they go into combat, need an awful lot of supplies. We've got 1 or 2 tanks here at the museum, but 1 lap around this arena is a gallon of petrol. So you can imagine they're going to need an awful lot of petrol to keep going. They're going to need ammunition. And the other thing, tanks, unfortunately, even though they look very big of foot, they tend to break down a lot. So they need lots of spare parts, lots of other components to keep them going. And that's why you need vehicles like that. This one going around now, to bring them all forward. If you load it up your normal truck, they'll get stuck on the battlefield. So again, you need a track vehicle like this. This particular one was made by the Americans back in the 60s. It's called M548, Model 548. The British Army used this particular one in the first Gulf War. We used them for carrying missiles forward to our anti-aircraft batteries. When they came out of service, the Army gave us a number of these. This one we put bus seats in the back of, by the way. And if you fancy having a go in this, what it's like driving around in a track vehicle, it'll be running around from the other side of our arena all afternoon. The only thing is, health and safety again, you've got to be over 1 metre tall to have a go in it, so do remember that. Now, it's a good example as well of seeing how a track vehicle works. The tracks there, I said they're there to spread the weight out. The only 2 wheels that are actually powered on this vehicle are the ones with the teeth on at the front. And the engine, it powers those 2 wheels. They bite into the track, if you can think of it like that, and pull the vehicle along. The wheels that are on the ground are just taking the weight of the vehicle, and the wheel at the back is just keeping that track nice and tense. So the idea is you lay down your own roadway, that's the track, you bite into it, pull yourself along it, pick it up behind you and throw it forward again. And you spread the weight out of the vehicle as you're doing that. And they've got tracks so good, there's a little tank in the museum called the Scorpion. The ground pressure underneath the tracks on the Scorpion tank, some of the older blokes here might remember the Scorpion, that was the Action Man tank. They've got the ground pressure so light under that, it was less than the weight of a human foot. And famously in the Falklands battle, the Scorpion tank drove across the frozen pole. It was absolutely fine sitting on the ice. As soon as the commander jumped off the side, he fell straight through the ice because the pressure beneath his feet was greater than that under the track. That's how clever tracks are in spreading your weight out so you can go places that other wheeled vehicles wouldn't go because they're just sinking the mud. Now the driver there, he's got 2 sticks in front of him. He doesn't have a steering wheel, and the idea is, if he pulls back on the right-hand stick, it brakes the track, in other words, it slows the track on the right-hand side, the vehicle will turn to the right, because the other track is pushing it down the corner. If you pull the left-hand stick, you'll turn to the left. If you pull both sticks back together, you should come to a dead halt. That's the idea. The downside of that system, if you can imagine you're putting your brakes on all the time to steer, it tends to heat the brakes up and they can fail, they can jam or bind as it's called and fail. And that's why when you see our vehicles going around our arena, quite often they don't go in a nice gentle curve, they go around the arena like the edge of a 50p piece. Straight line, pull off the brake, and change the angle, another straight line and then pull on the brake. And do be warned about that, because if you happen to be driving down the road here at Bovington and you overtake a vehicle, if it decides to turn left or right,